EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England. The kicker, Will Reichard, has the ball on the tee, and we are underway here in London. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. They'll run with a second-round pick from April's draft. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Here's Johnson, again on second down. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Here's Rodgers. And he fends him off. And that is incomplete. That's a pretty good opening possession defensively.
And you know the goal is to make something of a statement, especially on the road with your first defensive possession, isn't it? Go right out and establish yourselves and let them know this is going to be tough going all game long.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up second down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Looking to throw McCarthy. That is into the hands of Hockenson downfield. Touchdown, Vikings! T.J. Hockenson, 73 yards. And the Vikings get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Here's Rodgers to throw. He'll find Metcalf. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain.
Two guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Johnson on the counter. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
This is 2nd and 8. Up the middle, Johnson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. 3rd down and 9. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Mason. And he's out right at the 25. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
They'll run. This is Jordan Mason. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Right back to Mason. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Here's McCarthy. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack. But you could almost see his eyes light up defensively. I mean, as a linebacker, that's about as quick as you can get to a quarterback.
So what did your 3rd-grade teacher teach you about straight lines, right? As soon as you have those, you take full advantage of them. He found a gap in the offensive line, got to the quarterback, and put him on the deck.
And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on first down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on third down, makes it manageable now.
From the gun on third down. McCarthy out to the left there and complete to the tight end Hockenson. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On play action, Rodgers. A quick throw there is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Now it's Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Rodgers now to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Woods. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. To throw, it's Rodgers. That's down the field and caught by Freiermuth. And he's finally taken down, but not before he reaches the 14. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 41 yards.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Tight defense there on third down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range, no sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
So on fourth down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Well, now how about this return? And he'll weave all the way up to just a few yards shy of midfield. A great return. And now out comes Minnesota. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On play action, now McCarthy. This one swung out here to Jones. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter. 2nd and 6. As they've got it as we resume action. Now McCarthy. Finds his man. There's Jordan Addison. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. Now a handoff. Running left is Jones. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center because, remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion. And sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
After the penalty, it's Jones. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Here's 2nd and 10. On play action, McCarthy. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Here's a give to Jones running left. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 11 yards there, just like last play. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
Complete to Addison on the out route. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Aaron Jones taking it in from 7 yards away. And they are able to add on to their advantage. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the first down.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger-happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense going to have to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Again, it's Johnson. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can...
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Pat Freiermuth from 19 yards away. And the Steelers have got it back to within a score.
On that 3rd down call, the goal was to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a first down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the first down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Touchdowns on back-to-back drives, so a very good flow right now offensively.
Hard to slow them down, too, because they are locked in. Feel like the offense coordinator is a little bit ahead of the defensive guys right now. They're beating them to the punch with their play calls. They've got a nice rhythm they're locked into. How can the defensive guys come up with something that'll disrupt that flow? That's what they're seeking right now.
Well, it's been an exciting sequence to watch.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
It's a 6-yard run, leaves them with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
Here comes 3rd and about a foot. McCarthy operating from the gun. Quick throw on the slant, but that's behind his man and incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they had the touchdown during the last drive, and I'm guessing that you like the balance they had on that last drive.
And I loved it. Forget liking it. Absolutely love what they were doing, because to be ahead of a defense that much, where every play call you have, run or pass, is working pretty well for you.
Makes you look like a genius.
It really does. It also lets you know that your preparation was pretty good, and now the defense has to do all the adjusting.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed 1st down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the 1st, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
Here now, 2nd and 4. They give to Johnson going right. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The offense on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. A handoff for Warren. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And now out comes Minnesota.
To the air with McCarthy. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
Open man is Jalen Naylor. And he'll be down at the 46. So they go from 146 to the other on a pickup of 8. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
And here's Ryan Wright now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow. Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They go to Johnson again. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a first. From the gun, it's Rodgers. That is caught. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. Throwing is Rodgers. And Woods has it complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth. And he's got this down to the 35. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
And again, it's Rodgers. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And that extra yardage makes this upcoming field goal attempt much more manageable.
Agreed, because when you talk to defensive coordinators, they always tell us the 35-yard line on our side of the field, that's the line we guard the most aggressively, because once they get there, they believe they're in field goal range.
So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up second down. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Dancing to his left. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down. They'll try the right side with Jones. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Straight ahead, here's Mason. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Throwing is McCarthy. Middle of the field to Jefferson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, second and 2.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
McCarthy off the play fake. To the sideline and incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
They go back to the ground with Jones. And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
They'll run it with Jones. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion, and defensively pure frustration.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll go again to Jones. Excellent job pushing through tacklers that time to pick up 6.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
2nd down and 4. An inside give to Jones. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Here's McCarthy. Open man is Naylor. He's got it. And he will have a Vikings first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
Partner, up in New England, they have a saying for this. Do your job. On 3rd and 2, your job is to get 2 yards, period. If you get more, that's great. But bottom line, pick up the first down and keep the sticks moving.
Looking to throw McCarthy. And this is going to be intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Steelers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
To throw, it's Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Sacked by Andrew Van Ginkel.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. Rodgers now to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, if you're going to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. In a close game like this, Charles, those interceptions like they had on the last drive could be costly, but here they've got another opportunity to seize control of this game.
And they'd better take advantage of it because otherwise, if they end up losing by 1 score, they'll relive this over and over and over until they have another opportunity to wipe it away.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Up the middle, Jones. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. From the gun on 3rd down. McCarthy able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Vikings first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. You told me before it's tough to identify how to block a 3-4 defense. There wasn't a whole lot of blocking there.
And one other thing an offensive line coach told me, if you want to run wide against a 3-4, which is difficult to do because of the speed of the outside linebackers, it's often difficult for your offensive linemen to hit targets in space and create lanes for your guys to run through.
This one incomplete and over everybody. Looked like a clear throwaway. But the officials, they're going to say there's a receiver over there in the area, so no flags, and it's 3rd down. They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Third down, here's Mason.
Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
2nd and 7.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
Open man, that's the tight end fire move.
And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him.
He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
Now a short pass pulled in by Washington.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Throw left side complete. That's Warren. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down.
He'll get only a couple down to the 44. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd.
On the give, it's Warren.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll be taken down after a minimal pickup, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the 4th quarter of play.
Now a run with Warren. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 30. 42 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on second down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on second and long when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass him with a running play.
Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Boswell's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 35, here's 2nd and 3. They'll go play action. Here's McCarthy. Addison hauls it in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Yeah, you only get a 1-yard buffer there from the line of scrimmage, and he got downfield a little too far, and the flag came out. Now McCarthy. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 8. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the 1st.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
2 yards to go, 2nd down. Running left, Mason.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. but I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll hand it to Mason. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Got stopped, would have liked the touchdown, but hey, field goal gives you the lead, then let your defense do the work.
The one thing to keep in mind, though, the field goal is not automatic. You've got to make sure you protect your kicker here so you don't have a block, which turns into a big play. But you're exactly right. Kick it, rely on your defense. This is the proper play here in this situation.
So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
This is really impressive because when the offenses are running RPOs, things move very quickly. Fake, ball's out of his hands, and they're trying to hit him in the gaps downfield. And instead, the defender reacts so well that he makes a play on it, and the ball falls incomplete.
A short one there to Freiermuth. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Rodgers going to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now a play fake. Rodgers.
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line.
Jonathan Grenard in to drop him behind the line for a loss of a yard.
And for the defense, their third sack of the game.
That number tells you that they're starting to put it together with their defensive game plan. They're starting to feel pretty good about what the offense is doing, bringing the pressure at the right time, and putting the quarterback on the ground.
Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
63 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They go back to the ground with Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Sometimes in the run game, you can make the argument that quickness beats size. And how about the example right here?
A field goal try would be almost 50 yards from this spot, so what can they do to get closer now on 3rd down? Now Rodgers.
Now a screen set up for Johnson.
And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
Boswell's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That was about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays, and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. So all eyes on this Vikings offense. Down by 2. 2:08 on the clock. They'll have one play, maybe 2, before the 2-minute warning as they've got a first down.
To the air with McCarthy. Over the middle and complete to Addison. Second and 5. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
They'll look to throw.
That is caught. And he will have a Vikings first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Pass complete. It's Hockenson.
Short game, last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely. This defense, they're saying go right ahead with those.
Here comes 2nd down and 5.
He's back to throw. He's got Mason complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game.
Here's 1st down.
He'll look to throw.
That's caught downfield by Addison. And he's going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
They'll come up now. 2nd and 9.
Again, it's Jones. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th.
Well, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now.
A give to Jones. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And his kick here is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
Now it's the Steelers' turn. Trailing by a point after the made field goal. A little under 40 seconds to go. And they need at least 30 yards, you'd have to think, here to move the football to have a shot. Rodgers to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. How about the call to come with the blitz there in this situation?
And some of those calls happen just because of what they do on offense. So when they send out a number of people in the pattern, sometimes they just make a change on defense, say, okay, we'll come after you instead. And that's exactly what they did.
Now Rodgers.
That's to Freiermuth. And he'll get this up past the 45. It's a first down, but the tackle comes in bounds.
To throw is Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Victory all but assured now as they take a knee here, and they're going to escape with a 1-point victory.
And how about this finish? Able to take a knee, run out the clock, and close this game out by 1 point. You talk about how many coaches we talked to? They all said the same. All I want to do is win by 1 point. That got tested in this one.
Yep, and that cliche rings true. A single penny separates this one.
Well, partner, you and I were excited for this one today, and it certainly had its moments. Some good execution at times by both of these offenses. Defenses both made some plays as well, and always a joy to be up here in the booth next to you, my friend.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be up here in the booth next to you as well. Thanks for taking the time, and let's go ahead and get ready for our next one, right? I'll see you in the film room. Get that preparation started now.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say cheerio from London.